Support for Music Money University and the following message are brought to you by TuneCore. Do you want to take your career to the next level and start making money from your music? The good news is all you need is a digital distributor. TuneCore is dedicated to helping independent artists get their music in over 150 digital stores and streaming services in over 100 countries worldwide. And the best part is, they never take a cut of the money they collect for you. No label, no catch, no barriers to selling your music worldwide. Take control of your career and get 20% off your first upload on TuneCore by clicking the link in our show notes. Welcome to Music Money University, where you learn in-depth strategies on how real artists, musicians, and entrepreneurs earn a full-time income in the music business. I am your host, Omari, and today on our show we have Anthony Clint Jr. Anthony prides himself on being one of the most versatile and professional producers in today's industry. He has produced music for Grammy-nominated artists such as Tamar Braxton and Case, as well as various TV networks, including A&E, Fox Sports, TV One, CBS, MTV, and more. He is on a mission to create timeless music with material that the entire family can enjoy worldwide. Music with positive messages and real-life situations that people can relate to. He is a voting member of the Recording Academy, the Grammys, and is currently working on music for various artists, TV, and film projects. Anthony, welcome to Music Money University.
Hey, Omari, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to have you. Anthony, the way we like to kick things off on our show is dive right into the numbers. And that's because without numbers, you and I are just talking opinions, and we're not talking about our report on our results. Right. So tell the people how much you make each year in your music career, in your music business, the breakdown of where the revenue is coming from, whether that be merchandise, film licensing, touring, songwriting fees, all that, and which marketing methods have worked best for you to generate this income.
Yeah, definitely. So right now, I'm around like just under 45,000 a year for the past couple of years. And pretty much it kind of breaks down into roughly 7 streams of income. Music licensing courses and resources being one. That's around 30,000. Consultations, sound packs, drums. That's around 6,000. TV royalties around 4,400. Upfront licensing fees from TV syncs and things like that. Last year I did around 1,700. Then I have a beat store, and that brought in around 1,200. Just licensing beats to, independent artists and things like that. Google AdSense, I get fees from advertisements through YouTube and things like that. That was around $300. And then affiliate income. So different companies that kind of gives you an affiliate link to market, Amazon affiliate links, things like that. That brought in about $500 last year. As far as advertising, the 2 main sources for me has been Facebook and Instagram. And I spent about $4,480 on those 2 last year. And I think Instagram, it performed better than Facebook, but I got a little bit of traffic from Facebook. Quite a bit of traffic from Facebook, but conversion wise, it didn't convert as well as Instagram.
So what were you doing specifically on those ads? Were you just sending people, you mentioned beat packs and then a beat store. What was the goal of those ads?
So the most of the ads that I did was 2. It was for the beat store, and then it was for the a music licensing course / webinar that I launched last year. So for the beat store, it was a series of ads. I think it was about, I want to say 4 videos or 4 ads. It was at least 3 to 4 videos. The first one was just kind of an introductory video, just kind of telling a little bit about who I am and why I like to work with independent artists. Then the second video was just kind of me in the studio, making a beat, things like that. Then the third one was more so giving away, some content that'll help indie artists with information. And then the fourth one was actually the the conversion video, which is, pretty much asking for the sale and promoting a beat that was for sale. And then for the Instagram, it was a meme video of me just talking about the benefits of licensing your music on TV and film for producers, composers, and artists, and how they can benefit from it. And then pretty much just pointing them to the free webinar from there.
Okay. And then you talked about one of them for conversions. Was conversions your goal on all of them, or did you use different goals? Because, some people have tried out the Facebook ads listening, and they have maybe chosen engagement and traffic, and maybe they don't know which the best one to pick. So what was your goal in all those?
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine. He's like the marketing guy. Shout out to EQ Productions, but pretty much each one had a different goal. So the first one I'm talking about the Beat Store Facebook ad series. The first one was just reach. I believe it was just reach. And then the second one, same thing. It was reach, but we kind of narrowed it down from the people who actually watched the first video. And then we kind of kept going down that path of, just kind of narrowing it down from the person who watched 5 to 10 seconds of the previous video. And then the final ad in that series was conversion, or no, I'm sorry, not conversion, but a link click, to click the link. So most of them was just reach. And then that final one was just to click the link.
Okay. So the last one was for traffic then, right, for the goal. But none of them were measuring like the conversion tracking. I guess you had your own tracking for, you said it was to a webinar?
Yeah, I had the webinar and then the Beat Store. The ones where I did the Facebook ads is the one where it was just the Beat Store. And I have a pixel on there that kind of tracks the conversions from there, and the traffic and things like that, which tracks they played and how they got there. Okay,
cool. So it sounds like there's a lot of different streams of income, which is good to hear. And then you also, in the bio, I was reading about the placements with some of the bigger people, some of the bigger TV networks. How did you come into those?
As far as the major artists, that was purely through relationships. I know that like the Tamar Braxton one, that kind of happened through me doing a contest for songwriter TC, Tyon Christian. Shout out to him. But he had a producer contest to remix a song. So I did the remix, entered the contest, and actually came in second place. But he liked my version so much that he kind of shared it anyway, put it out there. And that kind of brought in more opportunities. I had an A&R hit me up and to do some music for an artist. And then later on down the road, that ended up turning into a case placement. And then later on, me and TC, we kept working together, doing remixes and just putting them out, just having fun, and just making dope remixes. And then it was around, I want to say September, everybody was working on Christmas records, and he hit me up, said Tamar was working on a Christmas album in New York. So he sent me a cappella of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, and told me to just do my thing, sent it back. Her people loved it, and pretty much they flew me out, and then we finished working on the album from there, along with another producer. So that's how the major artist things kind of unfolded. And then the TV and film placement thing was something that I've always been trying to get into since I was in college. And I guess my music just wasn't ready yet, quality wise, mix wise, and, just genre wise. But over the years, I kind of honed in on my craft and kind of got a feel for what they like to hear in TV and film and how they like to see tracks structured. So after getting a grasp for that, I ended up signing a publishing deal back in like 2011. And that ended up landing me my first TV placement, which ended up on Fox Sports Thursday Night Football. And then at that point, I was just like, okay, like this is pretty cool. Seen a royalty check from it. And, that at that point, that became one of the goals was to create a stream of income from doing that as well.
And so you said you signed a deal with the publishing. Was that just through like just sending the music out to more and more people, and then one of them, was willing to sign you? Like, how did you come across the publishing company?
Right. So during that time, it was just me searching for companies who kind of specialize in TV and film placements. So just doing a search, and then reached out and asked if they were looking for new composers. And they responded, said yeah, and then they asked for like a demo reel of music, and I sent them that, and then that was pretty much it. They accepted it. That particular deal was an exclusive deal, which looking back, I probably wouldn't have done. The kind of like exclusive, meaning that I couldn't work with any other publisher. Everything I did had to go through them. So for TV and film, you don't really have to go that route. So now I work with different, a handful of publishers. Some of them are exclusive, but only for the specific tracks that I send them. So I kind of stay away from everything has to go through me publishers, and, just kind of try and put as many eggs in as many baskets as possible.
Yeah. So the exclusive route, for those of you who don't know it, it's and how many years did that last? Was it like 3 years?
It was 3 years. I was trying to get my attorney to end it a little sooner when the Tamar Braxton situation came up, and that was something that I secured through my own personal connections. They had nothing to do with it. When that came up, they kind of wanted to get their hands in it, and I was just like, eh. So yeah, that went down, but I ended up just laying low and just finishing out that agreement. And then after that, I kind of knew what I could do from there as far as going out and searching the kind of deal that I really wanted.
Yeah. So to finish that previous thought, so having the security of the publishing company pitching your stuff, like it can be nice, but as Anthony was saying, like if you sign exclusivity away, that means you can't pitch to other places, especially let's say for whatever reason that company that he signed exclusivity to wasn't really pitching his stuff. Then
exactly, and that was kind of the case. Like it would be a random pitch here and there, but literally I only had the Fox Sports placement from them for 3 years. And I was just like, I could have covered more ground in those 3 years than they did. So,
yeah. And so even if, you don't have an audience, like, don't mistake that for not having any leverage at all. Like, yeah, you don't have as much leverage as some like super producers out there. And I'm not talking directly to you, Anthony. I'm just talking to the general audience. Mm-hmm. But like, sometimes it's cool to pass up on a little bit of money at first and then, accrue that later. But yeah, I mean, still, they did a little bit of work. At least you got the Fox Sports placement.
Yeah, and that's how I look at it. It was something that got my foot in the door. It gave me a credit that I could use to knock down other doors. So, I'm grateful for it. That's what it was for that season. And then after that, we just kind of moved to the next level.
Awesome, man. Well, let's work our way backwards a little bit. So we ran through those numbers. We know that, you're generating a full-time income from the music, but it all had to start somewhere. So walk us through a bit of your story. What first got you started with music?
I grew up in a musical family, grew up in church. My parents were pastors. So my dad was a drummer, mom was a singer, aunts were singers, uncles were musicians. My grandma was a piano player. So it was all around me. Around 5, I started, playing drums. And then later on through life, say around 15, 16, started picking up the keyboard and piano and things like that. Around that same time, I started getting intrigued with the whole process of production. Because back then I used to edit like, you know, all the church sermons and things like that on the computer. So that like really